Welcome to Hanbury Hall in Worcestershire. It's a National Trust property, which I have to say is extremely impressive. Definitely worth a day out, a trip to. As you walk into the property, you've got these beautiful gates which open up into this lovely sort of area in front of the house. It's all beautifully kept and manicured. Lots of interesting nooks and crannies and little buildings to look at and ornate features. Very, very impressive. I'd highly recommend you come here probably in the summertime or maybe in the autumn when the trees are starting to change colour. We're now walking into one of the vegetable gardens. There's a plant on the right hand side here which I'm told is called seagrass. And it can be eaten a bit like kale, I think. But it's starting to sprout out already. It's quite amazing stuff, really. But all of these gardens are tended and kept nicely by volunteers and by the gardeners themselves. There's a lot of volunteers work here. I came here a few weeks ago and I was talking to some of them. They're very, very passionate about their gardens and the way they keep everything nice and tidy. Even the trees you see here, the holly trees, are kept nicely shaped. And I think this might be rhubarb, I'm not sure. I think it could be. A bit early for rhubarb, probably in March, but anyway. So we then walk on through this garden to some little sculptured privet hedge sort of shapes that have been made. It's very, very neatly done, I have to say. Absolutely superb. From there, we walk into the main big garden in front of the house, which has got loads and loads of little privet hedges in certain definite shapes and things. Absolutely glorious. There were some areas of sort of sodden ground where, because of the heavy rain we've had recently, some of the areas have become flooded, but it's not too bad, generally speaking. This little area is quite interesting. There's like a little sort of cellar or some sort, or may have been a cellar at one time, but above it there's like a sort of reading room or maybe a exhibition room. There's not much in it at the moment. It's probably used for exhibitions. Could be a very, very good art exhibition room, but there's nothing going on there at the moment today anyway. When you go into this garden, you'll notice on the walls there's some very, very cleverly trained trees, going up the wall. Absolutely incredible. The little summer houses, there's a couple of them that I noticed that they look like massive TARDIS or telephone boxes in many ways. They're quite unusual and they're painted bright blue, as you see. There's also a lily pond, which will look spectacular in the summer, I'm sure, but at the moment it hasn't obviously started to sprout out properly yet. Other areas of the garden are very neatly planted with different types of trees and bushes. Very impressive. Just down the end of this path, just in front of you, you'll see There's a very old tree. I think it's 320 years old or 350 years old, something like that. And it's been, the National Trusts say on the little plaque that's down below the tree that it's been damaged a little bit by a habit of people poking coins into the crevices. I really find that a bit difficult to believe, but that's what they say. So they now forbid anyone to putting any coins in the crevices of the tree, which I think is a bit of a shame, really, because it's an old tradition apparently. There are miles and miles of walks around this property, I have to say, and this is one of the orchards, the apple orchards, which is very extensive. But you can walk for miles and miles, not just in the gardens, but also in the grounds and the fields. It's a day out, to be honest with you, to come here. This is one of the vegetable gardens again, another one where they haven't started planting yet, as most people who grow vegetables haven't started planting their plants yet. But there are lots of scope here for growing vegetables for the kitchen or for local people, even lots of polytunnels and greenhouses. There is and also an orangery, which it's a shame that it's not open to actually walk around and see, but it's already got fruit growing. There's oranges and lemons in evidence growing already as you look round. The pathways are pretty reasonable. They're all sort of stoned. They're fine sort of grit, and so they're not too bad. A few little puddles here and there, but this is like a bowling green, I believe. I mean, yeah, it's a bowling green, and I don't know what that is. It looks extremely odd, stuck in the middle of the garden, but it's obviously obelisk, is it, or something? Anyway, it's got a purpose, no doubt. As we walk into the house, where you're not supposed to film, by the way, there's some lovely paintings on the ceiling, which really stand out. The quality of the artwork is very, very impressive. Here's one of the lounges. I don't know how authentic the furniture is. It may have been bought in just to make it look lived in, but it's, the bookcases I think are quite authentic, and this chandelier is extremely beautiful. Again, I don't know how authentic it is. Amazing chess table there. Lots of interesting antique furniture, but again, I don't know how authentic any of it is really, but I believe some of the paintings probably have been in the house for a long time. Once you've had your little tour around the house, you can come outside to a couple of restaurants, and this particular one is extremely impressive. It's got a nice long sort of galley to it, and plenty of room to sit outside and inside. Um, so it's quite a nice place to come for the day. Have a bit of lunch, have a nice walk around, and enjoy your day. There's also a second-hand bookshop, which is extremely worthwhile going into. Here's another restaurant called the Stables Cafe, and that's also looks really nice. Didn't go in it, but it looks nice. So all in all, this is the back of the house. It's a very impressive building. It's definitely worth a trip and a visit. If you're a member of the National Trust or England or Scotland, you can get in for free, of course. And I'd highly recommend a trip here. And it's now a case of seeing what Midge can do from the aerial perspective.